What if I told you that most people are unknowingly sabotaging their own success, and that there's a single mindset shift that could unlock everything you've been working for? This is something you'll never learn in school, but it could make all the difference between where you are now and where you truly want to be. We live in a world that's obsessed with tips and tricks to get ahead. 10 steps to success, 5 morning routines for productivity, hacks to build confidence overnight. But here's the truth. Those quick fix solutions can only take you so far. What really separates those who consistently achieve their goals from those who don't is their mindset. And today, we're diving into the most powerful mindset shift you can make to set yourself up for real, lasting success. Let's be real for a second. Have you ever felt like you're constantly working hard but not actually getting anywhere? Maybe you've set goals, you're putting in the hours, you're even sacrificing your free time, but something still feels off. You're grinding, but the results aren't quite there, and it feels frustrating, doesn't it? The problem is that we're often stuck in a mindset that actually holds us back more than it propels us forward. And it's not because you're lazy or not trying hard enough. Most of us are caught in a cycle where we're focused only on the outcome. We obsess over end results, looking at success as this faraway place, or something to be measured by others' opinions or achievements. This focus on results alone can keep us from ever reaching our full potential. Here's why. When you're only focused on the end goal, you tend to overlook the process, the journey itself. And without even realizing it, you might start cutting corners, getting frustrated, or even giving up altogether when things don't go as planned. So, how do we break free from this trap? A growth mindset isn't just a feel-good idea. It's actually something that can change how you experience life on a daily basis. But the question is, how do you really develop it? Because let's be honest, it's not something you can just wake up one day and decide to have. It takes real effort to shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, especially if you've spent years or even decades thinking in terms of success or failure, smart or dumb, capable or not. Let's start with something that might sound counterintuitive: the power of failure. Failure, when you have a fixed mindset, can feel devastating. It can make you question your entire identity. But people with a growth mindset understand that failure isn't a dead end. It's like a mirror that shows you where you have room to improve. It's feedback, valuable feedback that helps you figure out what didn't work and what might work better next time. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world have failed more times than they've succeeded. But they've learned something crucial. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about bouncing back from it. Let's dive into some practical ways to reframe failure as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. First, try something called failure journaling. This is a practice where, at the end of every day, you write down a mistake or setback that you experienced. But here's the key: you don't stop there. For each failure, you also write down one thing you learned from it and one way you can apply that lesson moving forward. This small exercise helps you get comfortable with failure and see it as part of your learning process. It turns each day into an opportunity to grow, rather than a win or lose battle. Another big part of developing a growth mindset is letting go of the need for instant results. We live in a world of instant gratification, where we expect things to happen fast. If we want something, we want it now. But real, lasting success doesn't work that way. People who adopt a growth mindset understand that the journey is just as important as the destination, and sometimes even more so. They know that every day, every small step, is part of building something bigger. Let's consider the example of learning a new skill. Let's say you're learning to play the guitar. A fixed mindset would tell you that if you're not good at it right away, you should probably give up. You might think, I'm just not musically talented, or other people learn faster than me. But a growth mindset says, hey, I might not be great right now, but every time I practice, I get a little better. Instead of comparing yourself to others or worrying about how long it's taking, you start to focus on your own progress. Each small improvement becomes a victory, and you're motivated to keep going because you see that growth happening over time. Now, you might be thinking, but doesn't focusing on the journey mean you're less motivated to achieve the goal? Actually, it's the opposite. When you're deeply invested in the process, you're more likely to stay consistent. Consistency is what separates people who succeed from people who give up, and a growth mindset is the foundation of that consistency. Because when you value the journey, you don't get as discouraged by setbacks, and you don't give up when things get tough. Instead, you keep pushing forward, knowing that every effort is getting you closer to your goal. But there's more to it than just being okay with failure or enjoying the process. A growth mindset also involves embracing challenges. Most people, when they encounter something hard, think, this is too difficult. Maybe I'm just not good at this. But a growth mindset turns that around. Instead of seeing difficulty as a signal to stop, you see it as a chance to test your limits, to push yourself further than you've gone before. When something's hard, that's actually where the growth happens. Think of it like going to the gym. When you lift weights, you're literally breaking down muscle fibers, so they grow back stronger. Challenges in life work the same way. Every time you push yourself to take on something hard, you're strengthening that mental muscle. To build this mindset, try something called stretch goals. A stretch goal is a goal that pushes you just beyond your current abilities. It's something that might feel a little out of reach, but is still attainable with some effort. Stretch goals keep you motivated because they're challenging, but they're not impossible. And as you work toward them, you start building resilience. You learn that it's okay to struggle because every bit of effort you put in is helping you grow. And here's a powerful tool that can help reinforce this growth mindset: self-compassion. People often think that having a growth mindset means being tough on yourself, but that's not quite it. In fact, people with a growth mindset tend to be kinder to themselves because they know that self-criticism only gets in the way. They recognize that everyone has ups and downs, and they don't beat themselves up over mistakes. They learn from them and move forward. So the next time you mess up or feel like you're not making progress, try giving yourself the same encouragement you give a friend. Instead of saying, I'm terrible at this, say, it's okay. I'm still learning. What can I do better next time? A growth mindset also helps you build what's called grit. Grit is the combination of passion and perseverance that keeps you going, even when things get tough. It's not just about working hard. It's about sticking with something because you believe in it, because you want it badly enough to keep pushing forward. Angela Duckworth, a researcher who studied grit extensively, found that grit, not talent, not intelligence, not luck, was the #1 predictor of success in fields as diverse as sports, academia, and business. And the beauty of grit is that it grows naturally when you develop a growth mindset. When you believe that effort will lead to improvement, you become more willing to stick with things, even when the going gets tough. So, here's where everything comes together. The growth mindset isn't just a way of thinking. It's a way of being that changes how you approach every part of your life. When you embrace growth over perfection, resilience over results, and learning over looking good, you become unstoppable. You stop fearing failure and start seeing it as an ally. You let go of the pressure to be perfect and start allowing yourself to be a work in progress. And that's where real, lasting success begins to take shape. Think about it. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, they all had setbacks. They all had moments where they doubted themselves or hit rock bottom. But what sets them apart is that they didn't give up. They didn't let a bad day, a rough patch, or even a huge failure define them. They had the resilience to get back up, the curiosity to keep learning, and the passion to keep going. And that resilience, curiosity, and passion all come from a growth mindset. It's not glamorous or easy, but it's the secret weapon that most people overlook. Success isn't a straight line. It's messy, it's challenging, and it requires a mindset that can handle the ups and downs. The growth mindset is that mindset. It's the mental foundation that lets you take on challenges with confidence, recover from failures with grace, and keep pushing forward no matter what. When you fully embrace a growth mindset, you start to see yourself not as a finished product, but as someone who is constantly evolving, learning, and growing. You start to enjoy the journey, knowing that every step, no matter how small or difficult, is moving you forward. This is the most powerful mindset for success, not because it makes success easy, but because it makes success possible, sustainable, and meaningful. So, if there's one thing to take away from this, it's this: success is not a destination, it's a journey. And the most powerful mindset for success is about focusing on that journey, not just the finish line. It's about embracing growth, taking lessons from failures, and understanding that every step, no matter how small, is progress. This mindset might not give you overnight results, but it'll give you something even better: the resilience to keep going, no matter what. And when you have that, you're unstoppable. If this helped shift your perspective, hit subscribe for more videos that will guide you on your journey to success. Or check out the next video for more strategies to master your mindset.